The United States typically produces between 12 and 20 million bales of cotton each year. Every one of those bales has samples taken from it so that its quality can be measured. They call this process cotton classing.
We visited the Lubbock, Texas Classing Office to learn more about it.
Our guide for this tour was Danny Martinez, who is the area director for the Lubbock Classing Office, which is operated by the United States Department of Agriculture. Mr. Martinez visited with us about why cotton classing is important, what properties they test, and how they do it.
He even let me help.
Let's start with why cotton classing is important, and let's use an example other than cotton.
Apples!
Suppose you operated a pie company and you make lots of apple pies.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna like this analogy.
You're gonna need lots of apples for all those pies.
But you're picky about the apples you want to buy. You want tart, crisp apples that hold up well to baking, and you want them ripe, not bruised or wormy, not too small and not too big for your machines. Now, your apple broker has 2 pallets for you to pick from. One pallet, all you know is that it's 500 pounds of apples, but you don't know anything else about them.
Not their condition, their size, anything.
But the other pallet has been inspected, and they give you lots of information about them. They are Granny Smith apples, which is your favorite for your pies. Samples were taken, and they were found to be ripe, a good size, and very few blemishes. Which pallet would you be willing to pay more for?
The inspected pallet, for sure.
Yeah, the other pallet might be okay for apple pies, but it also might not. It could have a lot of waste, meaning apples you couldn't use. You don't want to waste money or time on that. So let's think about this. Having more information about the apples benefited you, the apple buyer, but it also benefited the apple grower because she got a higher price for her apples.
The buyer and the seller both benefit.
Cotton buying and selling is similar. Those millions of bales have different levels of quality. Not every bale of cotton is suited for every end use. The very best cotton might end up being made into premium dress shirts or other high-end products. The lowest quality cotton could end up as something like a mop, rope, or paper. And of course, there's a whole range of quality in between for all the other cotton products that we use. Having a classing system helps buyers find the quality they need for their particular product, and it incentivizes farmers to grow and gin for quality that the market is looking for by offering premium prices. Premium means the most desirable cotton properties get a higher price on the market. This is where the cotton classing system comes in. It lets the seller and the buyer of a bale of cotton know all of the key properties of the cotton in that bale.
Now that you know why it's important, let's look at what cotton classing can tell us about a bale.
At the classing office, sophisticated instruments test the cotton for various properties. 6 of these machine-measured properties end up on a bale's grade sheet. In addition to that, the sample is also visually inspected by a trained classer to look for the presence of anything that should not be in the cotton.
Let's take a brief look at each of these properties. Leaf.
When cotton is harvested, part of the plant gets picked along with the cotton. The gin has machinery to clean out some of this, but it's impractical to try to get it all out. That would waste lots of good cotton. So little bits of leaves, bolls, and sticks end up in the final bale. You could think of it as the plant bits as being trash, and the leaf grade is a measure of how much trash is in the cotton. Leaf grades are 1 through 7, plus an extra category for below grade.
Can you see what the difference between the 1 and the 2 is?
This has more dots
So the more dots it has, the higher the number. So if it's clean, it's a 1. It's a 2. So you already know how to cotton class already.
Yeah.
So 2 and 3, what's the difference between 2 and 3?
Has even more dots than 2.
Yeah, so it's getting worse, right? As the number gets bigger, the number gets worse. There you go, 4 and 5.
This is worse than this, which is also worse than 3.
Yeah. Yeah, 5 and 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse.
Worse.
Hey, look at that one.
Worse.
Number 7 is the worst, right? It's got a lot. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm gonna.
So the machines, they count and they give it the grade. Is that neat?
Color.
We think of raw cotton as white, but like paint samples at the store, not all whites are the same. Some are brighter and some darker, and some have more yellow and some have less yellow. The machine uses cameras to analyze the color and assigns a color grade. The lower the number, the brighter and whiter the cotton is. The base color grade is a 41. Grades lower than that will likely get a discounted value. Grades higher than the base grade might get a premium.
So Alex, can you tell me which to you is the best box?
Okay. So this is one of the best boxes here.
Yeah, you're right. This is the 1 grade. This is the 11, white color grade 11, and this is grade number 1. So that means it's the brightest and the cleanest. So as you get a 21, that means it's getting a little duller and then a little bit more leaf. Remember the little book I showed you? That's where the pictures come from these samples.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this one?
This one is the worst.
So it's got a lot of trash, and what about the color? Is it bright or dull?
Super dull.
Yes, you understand the word dull. I didn't know if you did that. So over here, we got spotted color. So that means it has more color. See, this is white over here. See how white it is?
Yeah, it's just flat out white by that point.
And what color do you see in this?
Yellow.
Exactly. So that's the measurement of the RD, and the brightness is a yellowness. So it's got some yellow color. Very good. You got a good eye.
Micronaire.
Micronaire is a measure of the fiber's maturity and fineness. These properties affect how well the cotton spins into yarn and how well the cotton will accept dye. Both low micronaire and high micronaire can be a problem. So in this case, the ideal range is in the middle. Readings between 37 and 42 get a premium. If the reading is 36 or 37, or between 43 and 49, that is the base range, meaning no discount or premium. Readings of 34 and below and 50 and above get a discount.
Length.
Length measurements are exactly what you think they would be, how long the fibers are. Another name for fiber length is staple. Longer fibers are more valuable than shorter fibers.
Uniformity.
Of course, not all the fibers in the bale are the same length. Uniformity is a measure to see how much variation in fiber length the cotton has. The practical range for the uniformity measurement is between 78 and 86%.
Strength.
How strong a fiber is affects how well it will spin into yarn and how strong that yarn will be. Stronger is better. It's measured by testing the force required to break the fibers, and it's reported in units of grams per text. Average strength would be readings of 26 to 28. Very strong would be considered 31 and above. Weak would be 23 and below.
Extraneous matter.
The final grade category is extraneous matter. These would be the presence of anything in the cotton that is not supposed to be there. The machine testing cannot distinguish between the different types of extraneous matter, so these calls are made by human classers. Codes are entered for any calls the classer sees in the sample. Examples are bark, grass, seed coat fragments, oil, and plastic.
See See that right there? That's what we call bark. That's not the person buying it. They don't want this stuff in there, so this cotton is worth a little bit less.
Yeah, they also don't want this.
Yeah, they don't want that in there. Yep.
Some of them will be.
You got big bark. See that? Yeah, grab it. Yeah, that's bark. Yeah. So that's from the plant. You ever heard of bark from a tree? This is bark from the cotton plant.
Oh.
You know,
Bark from a tree.
yeah, this is the bark from the plant. All right.
Now that you know what the classing office is testing each sample for, let's see how they do it.
It all starts back at the gin, which you can see a 10-minute explanation of in one of our other videos. When the bale is pressed, samples are cut from both the top and bottom of the bale. This gin's bagger automatically collects the samples on both sides, as shown by the arrows. Those samples are tagged with the same identification number that the bale is tagged with. This number is called the Permanent Bale ID, and it lets the cotton be tracked from the gin all the way to the mill that uses that bale. The gin sets all of its samples aside until a regularly scheduled truck comes by, picks up the samples, and transports them to one of 10 regional classing offices. The samples from the gin end up here in the receiving room of the classing office. The sample gets unwrapped and placed into one of these special carriers to move it around the classing office. It has a chip in it that can be read as it travels through the system. A worker scans the tag that came with the sample that has the bale's permanent ID. Now the system knows that the chip in the carrier is matched to that specific bale ID. From here, it travels to a classing station, where the operator pulls 2 samples, one from each side of the bale. Those will be tested further down the line. Each of these samples needs to be about 10 grams, and to help get the right weight quickly, these lights let them know if the weight is in the right range.
Mr. Martinez taught me how to do this and supervised my work. It was pretty fun.
Once Alex had the right sample weight, those weighed samples were placed in 2 special cups, molded into the carrier. The remaining part of the sample gets loaded into this machine, which has a camera. It measures the color in the trash. The sample's barcode gets scanned here too, since the samples are taken out of the carrier for this process.
That way, the leaf grade and the color grade are assigned to the correct bale.
After these tests, the samples are placed back into the carrier and it gets moved over to another special room for more machine testing. This room is conditioned to be in a specific temperature and humidity range. This is an important step because for accurate testing, the moisture content of the cotton must be in a specific range. In the past, cotton would have to be kept in the specially conditioned room for 48 hours, but they've developed a new process called rapid conditioning. Remember those special cups in the container for our weighed samples? They allow airflow through the bottom. So in the rapid conditioning section, the conditioned air is pulled through the sample.
So here, I have a hose, and in the hose, I'm putting air. Watch what happens with the cotton. It's got air pressure, so do you feel the air?
I feel the air.
Yeah, you feel the air right here? Put your hand right here. You can feel the air, right? It's putting moisture into the cotton.
This is the rapid conditioner
The rapid conditioning? Yeah. In the old days, we did it in 48 hours in a rack like that, and then we got conveyors 15 minutes. Now with this, 3 minutes is done. So,
by moving air at a certain temperature and humidity through the cotton, the moisture in the cotton is brought to the desired moisture content for testing. Now the sample is ready for the next round of testing. It gets sucked through this tube and into this machine, which performs several tasks.
so here it's measuring the length of the fibers, the strength of the fibers, and the uniformity, and micronaire, which is the fiber maturity. That's let's go back here. So right here, Alex, you got a scale. Remember the cotton that you weighed it? You weigh it because you want around 10 grams right here. So if you're right there, 9.58. That was probably one of them that you weighed. And then weighed it, and then you got the measure. So here we're measuring the length, the uniformity, and the maturity of the fiber.
The remaining bale samples, still in the container, go back into the other room, where a cotton classer visually inspects the samples for extraneous matter.
They scan the barcode for the sample and key in codes for any calls they make.
So we open it up and we're looking for stuff that's not supposed to be there, okay? So this right here, that's called mark. No, because when they take it, you know, we use cotton to make clothes, shirts, pants, silk sheets. So if they were to buy this cotton, say to make silk sheets, I don't know if you ever seen a shirt that's got a little bump in there. That caused it.
Yeah, we don't want it.
No, we don't want the bumps in there. That's what that's for. So that's why we got to make sure that we get a call so when they buy it, they know
You'll put the grade in there.
So we scan the card, and then bark is called 11, so it's called bark. And guess what? Now we're sending cotton because we got to teach people how to do this.
Oh yes, and Alex, so later this summer, when it's close to the cotton season in October, we'll have people, we're going to show them how to grade cotton with this. This is actually school cotton.
Yes.
At this point, the computer system has all the classing information attached to the bale ID, and it is recorded into a database. They collect a lot of data, and it gets used in a lot of ways, including weekly reports that lets growers, gins, merchants, and buyers see general trends and numbers for the different regions. With all the testing done, the samples are conveyed over to a press and made into bales. These bales are sold to cotton buyers, and the proceeds go to pay for the classing operations. The rest of the funding comes from the growers, who pay a fee for every bale classed. Currently, that fee is $2.50 per bale.
And while that is an overview of how each bale is classed, there is, of course, a whole lot more to it.
For instance, the machines get regular calibration and testing.
So, in order to measure, what we have to do is calibrate. That's like teaching the machine how to measure. So here, I have short cotton and long cotton. Yeah. So this is good cotton. This is shorter cotton. So yeah, it's real long. And so we use this to calibrate. You say that word with me? Calibrate.
Calibrate.
So we calibrate, and here's where we calibrate the color. Remember where normal was working? These are the calibration colors. So we have this one right here. See that one, right? That's a central, so that shows how bright it is, how yellow it is. And this is the trash tile. See that? It has, let me see, 196 dots in the area. You know what area is?
What is it?
Area is how big it is. So you have, maybe this will have a little bit of area.
Oh yeah, I
And how big it is. And now you have this. This is a bigger area. So you see how big the trash is, okay? And here we got some amorphous. This is a low number, 2.67, 5.3. This measures how mature the fibers are. You got a little, you can't really see it, but there's a hole in there. And it measures how mature the fibers are, Alex.
The visual classers even have checks on their work, and regional classing offices get cross-checked with others as a consistency check. The classing office also creates box samples that others can use as a visual comparison for different grades. Internal training and industry education are also a part of their mission, so they have programs in place for that too. On top of all that, the Lubbock Classing Office is the only classing office located on a university campus.
That would be Texas Tech University, home of lots of cotton research.
This allows a lot of collaboration between the Classing Office and the USDA for special projects and research opportunities.
What a day of learning and fun! Thanks, Mr. Martinez, for being a great tour guide and teacher.
We hope you enjoyed this look at cotton classing and hope that you will check out our other videos. If you like what you see, be sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and share. Every time you interact with our videos, it helps us out.
Thanks for watching, and see you on our next adventure.